So there's a lot of times in card magic when you really don't want to put much effort into doing whatever tricks you want to do. So there are those self-working tricks for these sort of situations where, I don't know, when you're trying to just cure cancer or maybe try to figure out how to save the fucking princess. I don't know, important shit like that. So this is kind of one of those tricks that you could do in that sort of situation when they just nag you insensibly until you show them a trick. So you tell them to get the cards and mix it up as best they can. So they give the deck a little shuffle-rooney, as they like to call them. And then ultimately they pick any card they want. Of course, this card is shown around to the spectator. And then you tell the spectator to cut it back into the deck, just like that. So that's fantastic. You ask them if they want to cut it some more, and of course they will, because they don't trust you. So they cut the cards into the deck, and this is when you claim that you have the extraordinary ability to actually memorize the cards. So you could look through a deck of cards and memorize them after just a momentary glance. So you spread the cards, and then you give it a kind of a cursory look here, and really just kind of spread them out here and try to memorize them as best you can. And yeah, there you did it. That's great. Spectator, of course, doesn't believe you. So you tell them you're going to look the other way. And while you look the other way, it's important for them to kind of remove the card that they picked earlier and then mess the deck up a little bit so that it's not obvious where you took it. So you turn away from the proceedings here while you're doing your very important thing. And the spectator reaches in and they rummage through the cards. They look for their card. They remove it. And they mess the deck up a little bit. And then at that point, you tell them, oh, that's fantastic. Can I turn around now? Because I'm so interested in this goddamn card trick. So you turn around, and then you look through the deck, and you go, oh, that's great. Let's see, I can tell that there's one card missing. Yeah, totally. It's the Ten of Spades. So that blows their minds, and you have effectively done a card trick with putting very little effort and put the focus more where it matters. So there you go. That's a cool card trick. Now, I'm sure I don't have to explain it to any of you guys. It's easy. So I just, I'm not going to explain it. I really don't have to explain it here because I got more important stuff to do. So why don't you guys just do that, learn it, and I'll see you guys on the, I'll see you on the next video. I'll see you guys on the next video. You again, when I see you again, when I see you. Really? Alright, okay, I'll explain it, whatever. I'll stop playing this fucking game and I'll explain this shit because you guys apparently need to be held by the hand for everything. So it's the key card trick. This is as simple as it gets. You need a key card. Let's see what the Ten of Spades is. You need a key card memorized. So the spectator shuffles the cards. You could do this whole thing. They shuffle the cards as much as they want. And then what happens is that you need a peek at the bottom card. So usually the spectators are not good at shuffling cards. So oftentimes they're not going to be as advanced as you are in the practice of shuffling cards. So they'll usually be very sloppy. They'll maybe drop some cards. And it's important to note, while they're shuffling the cards, just try to get a peek at the bottom card. If, for example, they shuffle the cards because they're a professional dealer in a casino and they manage to hide everything, you could still get your peek in other ways. So you could say, for example, hold your hand out and then do this little revolve peek right here. So the way you do that is you literally hold the deck this way and you just spin your right hand towards them. And then as this hand grabs these corners, you could just peek at the bottom card. If from their angle, it really doesn't look like you're doing much, but it gets you a little peek at the bottom card. So case in point, just try to peek at the bottom card because that's going to be your key card. So you tell them to pick whatever card they want. Let's say for this example, they pick the Six of Clubs. That is fantastic. So you have pretty much you have them show it around to later on not fuck you over. When you say, and your card is a Six of Clubs, and they go, no, it's not, because, you know, they like to do that. So make sure that they show it to everyone. And at this point, what you do is that you have them cut the deck anywhere, replace the six, and finish the cut. Now, it's important that when they do this, the Jack of Hearts goes on top of the Six of Clubs. If it doesn't, then you would have effectively ruined the method, and you have to find an alternative way to get the Six of Clubs. So the way I ensure that is by telling them, hey, cut the cards there. All right. Put the six of clubs there. All right, great. And I just either do it for them or hold their hand while they're doing it. Make sure that they don't decide to do anything fancy. There's really no other easier way to do it. You just do it. And if it doesn't work, then you do another trick. So at this point, they can cut the cards as much as they want. So they cut the cards. Now, I'm trying not to do it on a slick IKEA surface so that the cards don't get displaced, but they can cut them as much as they want. And when you turn these cards over to supposedly memorize them, you guessed it, what are you looking for? That's right, the key card. You're looking for the key card. So you're looking for the card that you supposedly have memorized, which due to the fact that I have my mind on other things like drugs and gay anal sex, I've actually forgotten the key card. So we'll pretend that the key club is, oh, I just remembered, six of clubs. That's actually the card chosen. Never mind, the key card was a jack of hearts. So anyways, you look for the key card and the card next to it. The card to the right is going to be the card that they picked. So what that means is that you could get your little peek here pretending to memorize the deck. Really, you're only looking for the key card and the card to the right of it. You memorize the six of clubs and you're good to go. You tell them, hey, I want you to do something very important. You're going to reach in here. You're going to remove the card that you picked and then you're going to hide it. And also, just to try to quell any people that might think that I don't actually have the autistic ability to memorize the cards, I want you to just mess them around a little bit. Mess them around. And it really doesn't matter at that point because you've already would have gotten your peek. So they could actually do whatever they want here. They could do this hand washing thing that you see them doing the World Series of Poker, whatever, if that's your, that fits your prerogative. However, ultimately, you tell them, so hide the card, mix the cards up a little bit so I can't tell which card is what. And then when you turn around, all you got to do is pretend to go through the cards and be like, oh, that's interesting. That's kind of weird because I noticed that there's the card missing. There's a six of clubs missing. And they freak out. Now, if you want, as a little bonus, what you could do is that if they don't mess up the cards in the order and they do just do one of these memes, one of these little things to mess the cards up, you could tell them specifically where they removed their cards. So you could say, oh, that's cool. You look for your key card and you say that I could see that there's a card missing there. I think you took it from here. It's a six of clubs. So by all technicalities, you're tipping the method there. But if they're not aware of the key card placement, that should add as a further punch to the cunt. Because then not only do you know the card that they picked, you've memorized the deck supposedly, you've actually told them where you pulled the card out. So don't let the simplicity of that trick not let you from doing it. Because it's a very powerful trick, even though it uses a very simple method. And people don't typically know the key card principle unless they're autistic and unless they were bullied when they're younger and turned to magic as a way to cope. So and those people, you don't do card tricks for them. Don't do card tricks for them. They deserve a Viking's death. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm gonna go masturbate to the king of France.
You again when I see you again. When I see you again, 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 when I see you again.